Hello fellow students, I am Flora Barra now reporting to you with the Pulse News. The topic of today's news is El Nino and its effects on climate and sea surface temperature. Before we begin, don't forget to monitor your vitals as this story is a hot topic in environmental science. Now let's check in with Nancy Partida as she will explain to us a little bit more about this subject.
Thank you, Flor. Many people don't know what El Nino is, but it is a recurrent phenomenon that occurs in the world around the equatorial Pacific Ocean. El Nino is described as a climate abnormality that is caused by the movement of unusual warm surface water. The picture shows you there the difference between a normal condition and El Nino conditions. This event occurs every 4 to 6 years irregularly. Scientists still don't understand how El Nino is caused, but they do know the first signs of when it is occurring. One of its signs is the rise of surface pressure. Around the Indian Ocean, another sign is that trade winds start heading east and falter for months. These trade winds, or the pattern of easterly surface winds found in the tropics near the equator, determine the early stages of El Nino. As you can see in the picture, the weaker trade winds head east towards Tahiti. Kelvin waves, which are warm subsurface waves of water a few centimeters high and hundreds of kilometers wide, cross the Pacific Ocean through the equator, which creates warm water near South America, and this is the start of El Nino. Not only does this cause water temperatures to rise, but also causes climate change. Climate change is any change in measures of climate that lasts a long period of time. This causes a rise in temperature and shifts in the weather patterns, as well as an increase in rainfall. Since this event causes a rise in temperature, this could be one of the causes of global warming, as global warming is the increase in temperatures near the Earth's surface. Now we will go to Flor, who will be interviewing a special guest.
I'm here with Mr. Rennick, who I will be asking a few questions about El Nino. So, Mr. Rennick, what negative effects does El Nino have on the environment?
The negative effects that El Nino has on the environment depend on where you are. If you live in South America, for example, one of the negative effects is that the fisheries collapse because the warm ocean water can carry less oxygen as it gets warmer. And so during an El Nino event on the west coast of South America, you get increased surface water temperatures and the fisheries collapse, meaning that thousands or millions of people are left without jobs and without a source of food in their diets. On the other hand, the effect of the warm water on the atmosphere can change things quite a bit depending on where you are. We often see droughts in Australia at the same time as we see excessive amounts of rain in America, where we might get flooding and crop failures because there's too much rain. So it really depends on where you are in the world to tell how negatively the El Nino will affect you.
Okay, so when people hear that it's going to be an El Nino year, they think that it's a bad thing, but does anything good come out of El Nino weather?
Well, again, it depends on your perspective. One thing that is almost definitely good related to El Nino is that we think that it stops hurricanes from hitting the east coast of the United States. As the weather patterns from the west move to the east, it seems to cancel out any hurricanes that are building in the Atlantic Ocean. So during El Nino years, we tend to get much fewer tropical storms hitting the United States. On the other hand, some other good things that could come out of an El Nino is that if you're an area such as Southern California during an El Nino year, you can build up fresh water reserves in your reservoirs and underground aquifers, so that in future years, when there's not an El Nino, we can use that water at a later time.
Okay, so those are all our questions for today, and thank you for being here with us, Mr. Rennick.
You're very welcome.
That wraps up our news today. Thank you for being with us, and please join us tomorrow for more news.
And remember to check your pulse each and every day.